it's Jen Harmel at Harmel's Helping Hands with my best girl, Annie. And let's see if she'll do it. Smile. Can you smile? And today's topic is going to be how to see if your saddle fits your horse. This mare is not in the best of shape. We've had to slowly come back, and then we've had setbacks, but at one time this mare outgrew all of my saddles, and the only saddle that fit her was a really inexpensive saddle from an auction. But I did sell my barrel saddle recently, and the reason I did that was because it was too tight on this mare and Button's shoulders, and ooh, she's wanting more treats. So real quick, I'm gonna see if she'll stand. She should. And we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna show you the equipment that I'm gonna use. So this is one of the things that I use, and this is shelf liner from Bed Bath & Beyond. It's a plastic, and this, you'll see what I do with it, but I outline the shape of the horse's withers. This is how I get the shape of the withers so that I can transfer it onto here. This measures from the point where you want the concho to sit to their hips, so you know if your saddle is too long or if it will be too long. Scissors to cut that out with. This is going to be one of the first things that we use real quick, but this is a baby wash, and I do this to mark where the balancing point is for the saddle. I usually use chalk, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use this, and this is Dollar Tree Baby Wash. And this is just a water bottle. If your horse is afraid of this sound, then use something else cylindrical. I can use this with her because she's my girl, and we've done this a few times. So, first things first, I'm going to use this water bottle and the baby wash, like I said. And this is not Annie's prettiest side. She has rubbed out her mane, so excuse my kindergartner got a hold of the scissors. So the first thing that you do, and you can see here that she's lost a lot of her top line. As this mare gets bigger, I'm going to have to do stuff to pad this up. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to go ahead and show. But if you have a horse who has withers that are, they're not very high, but they've also lost their top line, know that saddle fit's going to be a little bit, at this stage of the game, is not going to be reflective of what it'll be in about 6 months with a good workout routine. So, the water bottle. Take it and let it roll. Let's see, I'm having a hard time because her top line's so pointy now. Keep trying till I get this to happen. There it is. So her balance point right now, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. So her balance point is right here. This is where I want every saddle to sit me. So I'm going to use this as my marker. Okay? So that's pretty important. You want to have a marker to know where that balance point is. So now, I'm just going to start throwing on saddles. And I did bring out my pads and stuff, but when you do a saddle fitting, you want to make sure that you do it without a pad, don't cinch the saddle on, you just want that saddle to sit there. So I guess this was the first saddle that I bought for Annie when I got her. And I did rescue Annie, or adopt Annie, from a local rescue. So, first thing, you're gonna put your hand in here, and you wanna make sure that there's enough clearance for 2 fingers to go around easily, okay? So that's your first thing. And then, you're going to stick your hand under here. And if it feels like it's pinching, then you know it's pinching her. Right now, this saddle is not pinching her. That's how much top line she's lost. Ho. And you want to make sure that there's an even pressure all the way through. And you want to make sure that it's not touching her spine. Ho, mare. Annie, ho. But also, please look at where I set the saddle. I pushed it back a little bit. I set it here, not here. Please don't put your saddles up there. And I've seen that quite a bit lately. You want that saddle to be where they have full ability to move their shoulders. And so now I bring back out my water bottle. And this is where it is. That needs to be in line. That is why I bought this saddle. This is not a saddle that I would have preferred to buy because it doesn't have the knee roll. This is an old school close contact saddle. But I bought this saddle when I got her because of this balance point and because it fit her. This is how she looked when I bought her, or adopted her, I should say. So now I'm going to take this saddle off and I'm going to throw my Western saddle on. So in here, there's one finger's room to move around. That's not enough. In here, it's not pinching though. So everywhere else, it fits her for the most part. And you want to do that on both sides because your horse will be different sizes on each side. Hello. So I did leave a lot of my stuff on. This is just a little no-name saddle. Now, you're saying, okay, well, this saddle doesn't fit her withers. What do you do when you ride her? What I do is I put a felt pad on top of either a little Navajo, like old-fashioned kind of Navajo-y pad with the fuzz underneath, and I push it up. So what I do when this saddle right now, I'm gonna make sure it's not touching her spine. And it's, okay, right there, it's pinching her a little bit. So technically I shouldn't ride her in the saddle. I'm gonna show you the balance point just to, sorry for the cut in the video. And you can see that this saddle also, the balance point, it is right in line. So that's nice. In that regard, it does fit her, but it should be up here. So if I ride the mare in this, I put a lot of pads on and things of that nature to kind of push this up. I will say that across a lot of the boards, unless you can afford a custom made saddle, you're going to have to use pads because just the way our horses have been bred. Your pads are kind of your lifesaver. This saddle I would actually not recommend my client use on their horse. As Annie gets bigger though, this saddle will fit her. So for now, when I ride her, I need to ride her in that English saddle. Once she gets her top line back, we'll see if this fits. But as of right now, I can't ride her in it. So, that all being said, we're gonna try one more saddle. Last but not least is my daughter's English saddle that I bought for her for buttons. This saddle has more than enough clearance right here in the withers. When I put my hands under here, it's actually a little tight right now. So I would have to put a half pad on it. But other than that, it's not touching her spine or anything like that. And the pressure is nice and even all the way through. So now we do the water bottle test. And the water bottle lies exactly where it should. So this saddle fits this mare better than my Western saddle. It still doesn't fit her as well as that first saddle. All that being said, I actually don't like the twist in this saddle very much, and the twist is this part of your saddle, and if that is not comfortable, it hurts over the course of time. I personally like circle wide twists the best. My second favorite is a Billy Cook in the Western. In the English, I tend to like Pessoa quite a bit, and I'll be honest, I actually really like the twist in that little Crosby over there. So anyway, now I'm going to show you how, since my Western saddle didn't fit, what do I do now? I don't want to buy a bunch of saddles. That's where you take our handy dandy little tools. So now, what I have here, because I do this quite often, it's a flexible sewing ruler. You can buy them at Staples or at a fabric store. I found this online. It was like $4. If you don't want to have one of these around, a wire hanger will completely work. The only problem I've ever found with the wire hangers is they kind of go boing and they go back. So I prefer this, but when you get it, if you do get this and do this a lot, you're gonna have to really mess with it and get it kind of soft and flexible. Otherwise it goes boink and it starts moving around too much. So this is where you're going to measure from. So you put it there. And so for this one, I'm just gonna remember it's at the 17, then I'm gonna go to the other side. You can stay there. And on this side, it's the 6. So the 17 and the 6. And I'm gonna push it down to where it fits her correctly right now. But your most important part are these points where that concho is going to sit or where the rivets sit on your saddle. Make sure you're behind the shoulder. Please don't go up here. If you are going here, your horse can't do its full range of motion, okay? So 5. Am I still at the 17 over there?
Yes.
So follow me over this way. The horse might go rogue on us, that's fine. I can't believe how much top line this mare has lost. I feed her beet pulp. So now, you'll see I hold it down. And this mare usually has no withers. That's why I have to have a breast collar on. So now, I come down here to the 17 and I trace the inside to about 6 and 5.5. Okay? That's her wither. So now I can measure with my other sewing tool from here to here. And that is an 8-inch gullet. So I can just mark here. And the reason I like this is because it has the lines, so I don't have to be so direct. So 8 inches. And if you ever call me out for a saddle fitting, I do this for you. So there's her back right now. She has a really long back, which is part of the reason why we have setbacks, is because she gets sore. So that's her back. You can trace this out if you want to, and I will do it for you. But see, it always kind of springs, so I don't feel like it's true to what it is. So I just wanted to show you that. So then the next part of the horse that you measure, look at her. She's like, are you talking about me? You want to know the maximum amount of length you can get in your saddle. And a lot of horses right now are short backed. My baby is. But Annie has a really long back, so I can get as much as a 24-inch saddle on her. So that's it for the saddle fitting. So now I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to try to do this for you with this saddle. So, you can see that this saddle right now is too big for Annie. When she gets bigger, it'll be held up more. That's why I'm saying I can pad this saddle up. It is literally drizzling on us right now. But so eventually she will get there. I can pad this saddle up and make it fit her better. Do you see what I mean right there? So it sits right here, which doesn't give her enough room. But if I put pads on there, it gets off her withers. But I have to pull the pads into this Western Saddles gullet. All right, so that is Annie's wither, and that allows you to go into any tack store and stick it in before you make the purchase, or before you go out and you're looking online for a used saddle and you say, I want to try the saddle out. Well, this allows you don't really have to try the saddle out. This gives you a really good idea if it's going to fit or not. This is what is called a half pad. I don't know how this got, oh yeah, I do. My daughter, I think, dropped soda on it. She was writing buttons. This is a half pad, and this one kind of pops up, and I like that because the thing about that saddle is it kind of sits my daughter flat. So when I put this on, it kind of pokes her up and it helps her just to sit in the correct position instead of having to fight so hard. This is what I was talking about for Annie when I ride in that saddle. What I do, I have this little 1/2-inch wool pad, and then I have this old school saddle pad, so I really pad it up on her and she doesn't get sore. I probably will not ride her in this for a little while though, because Annie says, I want to give direction from behind the camera. Just because I want her to be as comfortable as possible, and I don't want to give her any excuses as I bring her back. So please feel free, ask me questions in the comments section. Make sure you like this video, and I'm going to go grab my horse. All right, you guys, it's been really fun going over all of this with you. I hope this video turns out well, and I hope that you got the information that you needed. She's giving me hugs right now. So until next time, God is great. Most people are good. Kiss your fur babies. We'll see you next time. Say bye. Bye, guys. And once you get that done, you can cut that wither part out. And we're gonna leave Annie again. Hopefully she is just a nosy nunu like she's being. Where did I put those scissors? Seriously, where did the scissors go? Oh, they're in my back pocket. There? Where are you going? Come on. Mare, no! I can cut most of this, that's why I'm not that worried.